Hello beautiful people, this is Melanie from MELANIE'S Creative Studio, and I'm going to apologize in advance. I've been suffering for a while with asthma. Ever since last March in 2020, I had something that I'm pretty sure was COVID, even though I tested negative. It was the very beginning stages of COVID in the US, and the test was negative, but you know, at that time there were a lot of false negatives, and I spent 6 weeks, as you may remember, very hoarse, losing my voice and everything. And since then, I have ongoing bouts of hoarseness and shortness of breath and coughing. So for the last 5 or 6 weeks, I've been struggling a lot with those kinds of symptoms. So if you recognize those things, please just disregard them. It's very hard to record when your voice is your tool. So I'm going to apologize in advance. I do have to edit a lot because I am constantly coughing or clearing my throat during, you know, a 30-minute recording session. So I'm going to apologize in advance for that, and let's get started. So recently I brought you a gorgeous diamond painting kit, and it was very whimsical and bright and colorful, and that was from a company called ColorfulDIY.com, and this stamped cross-stitch kit is from that same company. And you may notice a lot of the stamped cross-stitch kits that I'm bringing you, they're from different companies, but they're from the same manufacturer, which is this Joy Sunday cross-stitch. So when I bring you a stamped cross-stitch kit, when a company reaches out to me and says, hey, would you like to try the stamped cross-stitch kits we carry, most of the time I don't know if it's a Joy Sunday or if it's a kit that they manufacture themselves. So I'm always saying yes. So this is going to be similar to every stamped cross-stitch kit I've brought to you, or almost every one that I've brought to you, because it's the same company. But I am going to go ahead and open this one and show it to you because this one is huge and it is magnificent. Now, one thing I will point out before I even open it is this is like an edge-to-edge stamped cross-stitch kit. So you're going to get a huge finished piece, and it is stitched from corner to corner with this artwork. This particular piece is a 53 by 82 centimeter finished project, and I'm going to put the inches for that right here for those of us who don't use the metric system measurements, so you'll know what that will be in a finished piece for those of you who need to eventually frame your pieces. So a Joy Sunday cross stitch kit. For those of you who have not seen my stamped cross stitch kit unboxings before, they are all inclusive. You're getting everything you need, and for those of you who like to use a hoop when you cross stitch, those are separate. That's the only thing really that you need that's separate. And I'm learning that a hoop with a stamped cross stitch kit is not necessarily something you have to have. I will use one once in a while, but the hoops are so hard to get on a stamped cross stitch kit because the stamped cross stitch is such a firm, stiff piece of fabric that it is so difficult to get a hoop on there. So I'm just using them without it. But let's go ahead and get into the kit. There's instructions on the back, very clear instructions. I'm not going to go into that because it is very clearly marked, and you can read this because I want to get into the contents. I love the fact that they come in a resealable envelope, so it's a zippered envelope, and that is great for storage. That keeps your piece clean between uses, however you like to store, or before you get to the kit, everything stores neatly in this envelope. I went ahead and pulled it out of the envelope, but let me go ahead and give you a few basic pieces of information. Besides the fact that the size is very large, this one's called Colorful Peacocks. It's item number 6580 D585. This is a 14 count, so it's going to be a little smaller in detail, a little better detail than an 11 count, which I personally prefer. You're going to use 2 threads per square, and I like that idea as well. So let's see what we have in the brochure before we look at our fabric and our thread, or our floss. This is just our printed paper that tells us what is in the kit. This is a beautifully bright, glossy, colorful brochure. And you'll notice that it's got a section of each part of the design on each page. What they've done is they've taken the entire pattern and they've divided it into 12 separate sections. So each one of these sections is going to be a part of this. This one right here, the number shows here, this is section 11. This is going to be section 12. So I'm going to open this up and we're going to look at it, starting with section number 1, which is going to be here. Now, depending on how you like to work on your project, this is going to guide you as to which section you work on. So page 1 is going to be that section, page 2, and so on. Look at the colors. Oh my word. Oh, 4. Okay. Oh, this is, oh my gosh. This, I just want to look at this. Like 5 and 6. Oh, beautiful colors, beautiful colors. Oh my God, 7 and 8. Now you know why I chose this particular one. Okay, so let's get to this second to last page here. This is page with pattern 10 on it. And this is going to give us our number of our stitch, and it's going to give us our color or our floss color reference. So now I'm going to pull out the flosses before I even get to the fabric. Now, I have explained in a tutorial video that I will put up here for you guys to link to, that will show you how to do a stamped cross stitch, because it's different than what you're used to if you have done counted cross stitch. And if you've never done any kind of cross stitch, it will help you guys as well. This is how the threads come. And you see there are a ton of them. I'm going to tell you how many threads this kit comes with in just a minute. But look, talk about yummy, delicious, vibrant colors. So let's talk about really quickly, you have your color number 1, okay? On this pattern, you have your number 1, which gives you a similar color reference. Now, printed materials are always going to be different. It's very much like our paint by numbers, but a printed guide is going to always be different based on the printer they're using, the calibration settings and whatever. So you're never going to have an exact match to colors. Like your floss is going to be a little darker than whatever this printed, but it's just giving you kind of a reference. Your color number 1 is going to be similar to your color of your floss, and that's number 1. So you've got your reference here, but it's also telling us this is DMC reference number 150. So if I run out of this particular floss, I can replace it by buying DMC floss and number 150. Okay, I just want to look right quick. Look at these gorgeous colors here. Oh my word. Okay, now let's take a look. All right, so we have, let's see how many colors this kit has. This kit has 60 amazing colors of floss. You heard me, 60. Okay, incredible. It also comes with your 2 needles attached to your floss organizers here. But look at the colors. And I'm just going to briefly kind of do this. So the beauty of a stamped cross stitch kit is not just that it comes with everything you need. So you're not out at the store trying to find every single color of 60 DMC flosses and figuring out how many of each one you need and measuring out how many strands and how many and all of that, the stuff that we really don't want to do to prepare our cross stitch piece, right? None of us really like to do all that. I mean, it's part of the process to prep, but we don't prep when we do a stamped cross stitch kit. Hence the beauty of it, right? It's kind of a, let's just start this thing kind of beauty of a kit. This kit, you have a, what I like to call a twofer. You have the threads included and you have your fabric included. Now let's look at the size of this thing. It's not even gonna fit into my camera. It is massive. But how incredible would this piece look after you're done in 4 years? Let's just keep it real. You know how I do. I'm not sugarcoating anything. When you get this matted and framed and up on a wall, how glorious is this piece going to be? So you'll notice, first thing, it is already gridded. Not that it really matters because you don't need to grid it yourself. But the colors are like insanely different than what you see in this pattern, right? This doesn't look like what we have. So this is this section here, and it's not to scale, but just to give you a visual idea. Why is this so different than that? And this is also things that I've explained in that one video, but while I'm here, let's just go ahead and talk about it for a minute. This is for your contrast. This is for you to be able to see and differentiate what you need. So this is just for visibility, for you to find the pattern or the symbol that you need. So let's talk about that for a second. We looked at number 1 on the Floss organizer, right? And we saw that it was a burgundy color, like a deep, beautiful cranberry color. So let's go over here and we're gonna see that our symbol is different than what it was in our book. We're only really gonna be paying attention to this piece of fabric when we're cross-stitching a stamped piece. Our book is gonna come in handy for something else, which we're gonna talk about in a minute. But this pattern here is just a straight line. That's our symbol for finding number 1 floss on this piece. So I'm gonna show you right here, and I know it might be difficult to see, so I'm gonna try to zoom in. And in here is that symbol, that little straight line. Now you can see this so much better when you're actually looking at it. And of course my distracting little, cheetah, I think this is a cheetah, leopard, I can't remember. This symbol is right here. So every one of those symbols, and that little straight up number looks like a number 1, just straight up and down this line is a number 1. So when I thread my needle, I can sit here and I can do all of these little symbols right there. Every one of those squares is going to be a stitch of that color, okay? So then, and you can fill this out how you want to. You do not have to do this in, number order at all. I can go over here and this bold lime green, which is 820, that is my color, number 30. So they have given me an ample amount of this floss because you see how much of that number 30. So I would probably actually start with number 30 just to be completely honest about it. That'd be my easiest way to go. But do you see this is number 30, that's number 30, 30, 30. And they've marked it accordingly. 30, 30, 30, and that's number 30. All right, that's number 820 in DMC floss in case for some reason I don't have enough, but I can't imagine this not being enough. But that bold lime green square is going to be all number 30. And I can do all of that number if I want. I can just do every bit of that. If I want to do the entire fabric with that color and then come right back down here and start a new color, I can do it that way. I can do just this section and then do this pink here. However you want to approach it, that is the beauty. So that is how you do a stamped cross stitch. The last thing I want to mention about a stamped cross stitch kit that makes it extremely valuable is that not only when you purchase this kit, and I'm going to go ahead, normally I do not include prices because prices change at websites. They have sales, they have specials, they have discounts, they have coupons. And you guys, they may get a bulk price and drop their prices or have to raise their prices. I don't give prices, but I'm going to tell you at the time of the recording of this video, which is June 11th of 2021, the price of this kit is only this much right here. You are not only getting the fabric printed, ready to go, the 2 needles, all of the floss that you need, organized and ready to go. You're also getting the colorful pattern so that if you want to duplicate this piece in the future, you have the pattern People sell patterns on Etsy or wherever, on websites, for $10 to $20, just the pattern. And then you buy the floss. So you can take this information right here and repeat it on, let's say you want it on an 18 count fabric because you want it to be a little smaller. And so you buy your own fabric, you buy your own floss. You can duplicate this piece 1,000 times if you want. You've purchased this pattern. So not only have you made the stamped piece, but then you also have the pattern for whatever you want to do with it. So how amazing is that? So I love the stamped cross stitch kits because the value is insane. I just love it. So that's all I'm going to say about that for today. And I hope that one day they will actually come out with 16 count kits or 18 count kits. I know it's a lot more difficult to see a 16 and 18 count. So it might be because they, it's hard to print on that size because it's a smaller, area. But I do love the 14 counts for personally, for myself. But anyway, I hope you love this kit. It was just magnificent. They're peacocks, even though there's so much color and stuff going on that it's like they just blend and meld into each other. And I just thought, oh, you know how I am about colors. This was the kit. When they offered me to choose a stamped cross stitch kit, it was like a no-brainer, but they had beautiful pieces on their site to choose from. So I'm going to give you the link for this particular kit in the bottom below in the description. I will also send you to their main website to look at whatever they have to offer. They had some beautiful diamond painting kits as well and some other different types of crafts for you to take a look at. The bottom line is this company is legit, and go check them out, you guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you're as impressed with what comes in a kit, a stamped cross stitch kit, as I am, because it never ceases to amaze me of what is included in one of these kits. Now, finally, I always forget to say this, but do not get your stamped cross stitch pattern wet, your fabric. It may be stiff, work with it that way, because if you get it wet, your pattern disappears. So when you're done cross stitching this beautiful thing, then you would want to soak it in water for approximately 20 minutes. And then from what I understand, what that does is it just removes all of the printed portion in the cross stitch fabric. And then all that's left is your white background of fabric and your beautiful stitching, and that's it. And then you can just let it dry and it's done. Now, if that doesn't work to remove all of that, then you would just repeat that process and it's good to go. So you guys, hope you love this as much as I do. Don't forget to drop a comment. Tell me what you think of this kit. I will see you guys back soon. Thanks as always for watching.